You're listening to the Miami Guides podcast.
To find out that there's a really vibrant tech, innovation, and startup community in South Florida and Miami in particular. And it's just, we're really grateful to be part of it. And I think something we'll probably get into is what, everyone's like, how on earth did you decide Miami out of, all of the cities?
Exactly one of the questions I want to ask. Why Miami? I know it's a beautiful location with the ocean.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Miami Guides podcast, where we chat with inspiring entrepreneurs, innovators and hustlers who are doing big things right here in Miami. We've set ourselves the goal of capturing the vibes of Miami and help you discover the magic of the city. And we're excited to be in your ears. Now today we are in Wynwood Miami, meeting up with a special guest. A special guest I'm thrilled to share with you. Her name is Johanna Mikkola, and she is the co-founder and CEO of Wyncode Academy. Now, Wyncode Academy is a technical training school teaching software development and product design. Well, their mission is to empower people with the education and the skill set needed to launch a career in technology. I'm so happy to have Johanna on the podcast because she has built something amazing at Wyncode and helping to drive the Miami tech industry forward. She is here to share the story of Wyncode and now have built a whole community and have already graduated almost 700 technologists. Johanna believes that every industry is a tech industry, and technology is the language of today. All companies are tech companies and need technology talent. Wyncode launched in 2014 and soon will be celebrating their 5th anniversary. Johanna talks about the industries in Miami which currently are in need of technologists and developers. Johanna shared some great advice about the tech scene in Miami and also about what skills are the most important people should learn in the coming age of machines. Wyncode has a great mission and inspiring story I can't wait to share with you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you guys an amazing guest, Johanna Mikkola of Wyncode Miami.
Mike from the Miami Guides, and today we are in Wynwood at Wyncode, and we have a wonderful guest, Joe from Wyncode.
Yay!
Oh.
Great to be here talking with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and thanks for having me.
Great. Excited to share. Thanks for featuring it.
All right. Thanks so much. Yeah, so Wyncode, I'm really interested in what gave you the idea to start Wyncode, and why did you start it?
Great, Wynwood, Wyncode, we put Wyn in front of everything. There's
right.
a common theme here. We, my husband and I launched Wyncode together, so we're co-founders, co-CEOs. We launched Wyncode in 2014, so we're coming up Cinco de Mayo, actually. May 5th is going to be our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun. It's crazy how quickly and how slowly 5 years goes by when you launch a school.
Right.
So and basically, Wyncode is a technical training school. So we are teaching software development and product design, which is user interface design and an interface. And the key for us is really to empower people with the education and the skill set needed to launch a career in technology. And we love the fact that we could do it in a place where the tech ecosystem is still emerging so that we could have a really big positive social impact on being part of growing a community rather than, we're both originally from Finland. We moved here from Toronto, both of which have very strong tech markets and tech ecosystems.
Right.
We didn't want to just join a trend. We really wanted to be part of building something from the ground up. And that's ultimately why we chose Miami. And there's something really beautiful in being the underdog as well. I always love the surprise when I talk to people who are outside of the market, when they find out what we are doing here, and to find out that there's a really vibrant tech, innovation, and startup community in South Florida and Miami in particular. And it's just, we're really grateful to be part of it. And I think something we'll probably get into is what, everyone's like, how on earth did you decide Miami out of, all of the cities?
Exactly one of the questions I want to ask. Why Miami? I know it's a beautiful location. You have the ocean, the beach. But last thing you can think about is programming, right? Because you want to be on the beach.
You know what? Funny enough, maybe it's the vibrancy and it's so bright here and it's so tropical and wonderful that maybe it makes the time indoors focusing and working hard easier because you can step out into an environment where the rest of the world wishes they could live full time and only get to vacation. So, I actually don't often go to the beach. I thought when I moved here I'd go all the time.
Right.
But that said, I will say every morning when I open my door and I see the palm trees and the sunshine, and I have to remind myself it's February. The novelty hasn't worn off for me. I love being down here, and I think it's the greatest life hack to
take time off.
Yeah, and greatest life hack really is to be doing something meaningful in technology, both for the people who go through the program and our team, in a place where everyone wants to vacation. So we have the best of all of those worlds, and it's also really cool to be somewhere where things are still growing. It just means that this startup and tech ecosystem, to me, has been very collaborative and supportive and accessible, whereas much more established tech ecosystems are a lot harder to break into.
Okay.
So, you can come to Miami, and if you do a good job, whether it's as a software developer or as an entrepreneur, you can really carve a path for yourself and do well.
Okay, so you really saw a need in Miami that a lot of companies are looking for developers, and it's also a great place, indeed, to sometimes take time off and to get some inspiration and keep it going again. So, what's the difference between the tech scene in Miami and other parts of the U.S.? If you look at other different cities, is there a lot of difference?
Well, huge differences, right? So, taking standard of living and climate aside, and maybe even just taking a even further step back and looking at it even macro level, which is that my take on it is that any city we would have chosen would not have failed because every city needs to build a tech sector in and of its own self, right? And that's the reason for that is that every industry is a tech industry, right? And so because every industry is a tech industry, every city is going to need innovation, technology talent in order to feed the local businesses no matter what size they're at. Because there is no business today that can make, market, service, advertise, whatever it is, without the use of technology, right?
And so tech is needed in every sector.
Yeah, so I really think it's the language of the world today, you know, and if you want to understand the world around you today, you don't need to be a software developer, although that will help you immensely, or a product designer, but you certainly need to have some level of understanding of how technology is built, because that's our world today. And so for us, we really felt that, of course some cities are going to be more successful than others, and Miami did present a lot of risk because it's so unknown for technology, or was at the time. But that also meant that it represented a lot of opportunity. So to be able to be here as one of the educators who is forging the technology talent that's needed locally, so that businesses can thrive here locally. Because that's the biggest demand. I mean, Code.org last year released open technology positions in the U.S. alone that went unfilled, and that number is close to 600,000. Right, so that it's definitely not a problem that's going away anytime soon.
Wow. This industry is moving so quickly, and I understand that each sector needs a tech developer. Is there a particular sector that you think that's really needs to step up its game? Can be which sector should that be?
Yeah, so Miami in general is really known for hospitality and real estate. Talk about two industries that, are doing a lot in technology but could do even more.
Yesterday I was talking to one of the guys in the hospitality sector, and what he was telling me is that these big companies like Expedia and so on, the systems that they are using, it's a 3-letter system, but that system is so outdated. It's like still they're working with like a DOS-based program.
Like legacy software.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that industry really need to step up its game to update the systems.
Yeah, I think there's so much opportunity. I mean, the biggest hiring partners, so from Wyncode, we've been around for 5 years. We've graduated almost 700 technologists. Over 315 companies have hired from our program, and we maintain a 90% job placement rate, which we have reviewed and audited by a big accounting firm. And we are one of only 3 schools in the country to do that jobs report transparently.
Okay.
So we're really proud of that and proud to be doing it in a uncommon tech market. Right. But our biggest hiring partners are all in the med space. So they're all Medcare companies.
Okay.
So I'd say that's another area that, we'll probably see a lot of really interesting stuff coming out of South Florida. And then another really exciting hiring partner that we have is Magic Leap, who's working in the augmented reality space. They're up in Plantation and are potentially set to, change the world as we know it today and how we interact it.
Are they based in Miami? Or?
They're based in Plantation.
Oh,
so
okay.
just,
right.
northwest.
Right.
About an hour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's been really great. It's really cool that you can be educated, trained, and hired and have a great technology career in South Florida, but you can also go to the beach when you need a break.
Right. Definitely, it's a great lifestyle here, and it's exciting. It's always something new to keep yourself updated. And you have to keep yourself updated with all the new codes coming out. There's like a new JavaScript framework coming out like every month. So
and then existing frameworks have new versions coming out. Yeah, I think you asked like who really needs to update their software. I mean, I think it's more that companies, in order to keep up, they're going to have to set themselves up for constant change. And the bigger company you are, the harder it is to move quickly with change, right? Like the less agile big companies are. And a lot of companies talk about and want innovation, but I feel that they are still defining what that means. Banks, for example, many of them are understandably, like security is an issue. A lot of banks are on legacy software.
Right.
And so to update and transfer that, there's a lot that goes into that. But, the reality remains that the technology is going to be updating and changing all the time. So it's, an even bigger problem that probably big companies will have in particular, because small are a little more nimble and agile and can change more easily, even though there's costs associated, is how do we set up the culture and how do we set up our products and services where we do remain as up to date as we need to from a technological standpoint. One of the key ways that people do that is by having technology teams, right?
Okay.
Who, I always tell people, especially someone who's building some new software, they want to contract people out to build an app for them.
Right.
There's no such thing as done, right?
Right. You need to.
Software is think about it like a plant that needs to be maintained and nurtured.
Right.
And it's going to be bigger and stronger and more beautiful the more you nurture it. So
it's a continuous process of optimizing and bug fixing
all the time.
Right. Yeah. Do you think more women should join the tech sector?
Great question. I mean, obviously, something that's really close to my heart. There are not a lot of female founders in the coding school space, let alone females who are working in the coding space. Right now, computer science degrees range from 14 to 18% women enrolled in those programs.
18%?
Yeah, and it ranges from 14 to 18%.
Wow.
We're really fortunate in our programs that we're getting close to the 25% of people women in our programs. That said, we committed 2 years ago to an initiative where we committed $1.4 million over 4 years to get to gender parity across all of our programs. And why do we do this? Obviously, men and women are equal, so there's that element of that. But equality aside, it's been statistically proven that diverse teams build better products, right? So it makes good business sense to have a diverse team. And something that's interesting from a report that came out by Deloitte is that 85% of household buying decisions are made by a female. So if we think about the world being a technology world, that means that the builders and creators and marketers of products in the world today, if they are more reflective of the end user, then you're probably going to build a better product, right? And, Stanford and Harvard even lots of other people have done a lot of studies about this. So it makes business sense to have a gender diverse team. And so we really need to encourage women to get into it. Women also make for great technologists. The other flip side of this is, every city is also competing to attract technology talent and good people and also to keep them here.
Right.
And I think for Miami, a huge competitive advantage, we have a real opportunity, since we have a more blank canvas than some established tech ecosystems, is to build a gender diverse tech ecosystem. It's much easier to build something like that from the ground up than to change very ingrained certain communities, right? So Silicon Valley wants to be gender diverse, but there are heavy biases built into that ecosystem. Aside from the fact that more women we need to also get more women to the pipeline. So there's a number of different challenges there, but nothing that we can't get through. So we have some very exciting partnerships we're going to be launching in March, which is International Women's Month. And so diversity is a core element for us, and we really believe in building a gender diverse tech ecosystem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's important to have a balance. By working together, they can build wonderful things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely I'm all for that.
Great. That's great.
So, if you look into the future, what skills do you think is most important that people should learn in the coming age of machines? Because now we have machine learning, AI, all these new developments going on. That it's on the other side it's becoming easier, but at the same time it's also it's kind of scary for developers because a lot of jobs are taken over by these machines. Basically, what kind of skill do you think is important?
That's a great question.
All right.
So something that's interesting is, even though technology and machines are running our world more and more, interpersonal and soft skills are still paramount. So that's why for us, our mission is to build successful coders and product designers with business acumen. The business acumen side being our curriculum doesn't just combine React. We also talk about how do you communicate effectively in a group? How do you resolve conflict? How do you public speak? How do you present? People want to hire good people, and people want to hire people who can play well and collaborate and communicate well with others, right? And so having these soft skills is super important. And I think also seeing how front and center technology is. If you are a technologist, you have to have the interpersonal skills because you have a seat at the table now, so to speak, right? So you want to be called into the business meeting and be able to speak to people who are non-technical about what you're building and why it's important.
Exactly.
And you won't know how to do those things unless you practice them. So, obviously we're tech first. We love it. We're always early adopters of a lot of things personally and as a team, but never to lose sight of interpersonal and soft skills and the importance of those things. And even when we talk to our hiring partners, because we're market driven by what we teach, we try to be as closely connected to what this market needs. Even before the technology skills, people talk about the type of people they want to add to their team. So I think that's really important. But in terms of general kind of skill set, it's not, this is more about not being afraid to learn something new that you think isn't for you, that thing being technology. Rather than a specific thing, like you should definitely learn JavaScript or you should definitely learn Python. Because just like learning languages, once you learn one, you can learn a lot of other things. So I think the importance is, there is a bit of a myth or a fear that technology or technology building is only for really smart people who are amazing at math, right? So I hear that a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it's important to note that the world is for everyone, so is technology. And open source languages, which a lot of technology is built on today, is actually, it's more about puzzles. So if you like puzzles, you're probably going to like coding.
Right.
If you speak English, you're probably going to be able to look at code and read some words in there, because most code uses plain English words, right? It's more about like, if this, then that.
Exactly.
It's not about like, what is this like crazy, scary algorithm? I don't understand this, right? And so I really, we actually host a one-day coding boot camp, which we have one once a quarter on a Saturday. It's a full day on a Saturday. We do it in Wynwood at the Lightbox, which is kind of a fun, creative space. And the reason we do that is because I want to try to expose as many people as possible to rolling up their sleeves and getting dirty and actually trying, whether it's product design or coding, so that they can see that it's very accessible and it's for anyone. It doesn't mean that everyone needs to become a developer, but having some level of understanding instead of being like totally allergic to it, that's, I would say, like having the mentality of trying something new and what we call growth mindset is more important than specifics. Of course, I have suggestions for if you know 100% you want to become a software developer. What's the JavaScript and React are dominating the market right now, so that's why we teach it. If you want to be a product designer, what are the key things you need to learn? Like, how do you go about starting a project? All of those, industry best practices, those are important to know. But as general people, I think it's just my message is like, just try it. It's for you. It's easier than you think it is. Don't, just by trying it doesn't mean you need to become it professionally, but it'll help you understand things better.
Yeah, at least learn the basics, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and that you have some basic knowledge of front-end development, back-end development. Yeah. That's, exactly. Yeah. That's how the internet works.
Exactly.
And
it's
also,
not, it's not a black box. The answers are all there.
At the end, it's like a puzzle, what you said. And it's about, indeed, you need to have soft skills. Because you're dealing basically with problem solving. And to find a problem, you need to understand how people think and what they are really, what's the real needs to solve a problem. So for that, you need people skills and also, presentation skills, because you need to present what you're building, and that needs to be communicated to other people. So, I definitely agree with that. So,
absolutely, it's so important.
Yeah. So, can you tell a little bit about the different programs that you offer at Wyncode?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do 2 full-time programs, which we call immersives. They're 10 weeks long. And it's our web development program as well as our UX, UI product design program. And those are 0 to new career programs, or for an entrepreneur, 0 to building your own prototype, for example. They're all in, like, Monday to Friday, 10 to 6, but really you're spending like mornings, evenings, weekends on it. So it is an all-in effort, because it's pretty remarkable to go from 0 to software developer, 0 to product designer in that short amount of time. And then we also do part-time programs. So for people who want to skill up or level up or enhance their knowledge of something. We do a digital marketing part-time program as well as a front-end part-time program. So those are more about leveling up. It's not a career change. Those are not career change programs, but they're certainly continuing education and added to your arsenal of things that you understand and work with. And the other 2 are a complete career transformation. And also potentially a life change as well. So,
really?
It's a very, we're on this journey with everyone who comes through the doors. It's an academic and a professional development journey, but it's also a really emotional one. It's, it is a big leap of faith to put in the time and money needed to make a career switch. And the average age of our program is 29 years old. So most people come into our programs having had previous professional experience, and I share the experience too. I had a really great job before that paid well, but something was missing. I didn't quite feel totally fulfilled, or I wasn't quite in the path of something that I was like super passionate about, which I'm fortunate to be in now. So a lot of people are unified in their mission in our programs, in that they want to find a fulfilling career doing something interesting in a field that has opportunity, that's also engaging and creative. So that's been great journey to be on with everyone. But that's an emotional journey.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's wonderful. You offer like a full stack package from beginning all the way to developing your career and basically your way of living, lifestyle. I think it's really great.
Yeah, it's great.
What are your future plans for Wyncode?
So we really, Miami is our home now. We really believe in what's happening here,
right.
and we really planted the flag in South Florida and want to see great things happen here and want to play our part in elevating this ecosystem as much as possible. And the way that we're doing that is really by helping people and companies grow. That's our core purpose. And so we want to make sure that people have access to high quality education and a pathway to a new career. And then in turn, we want to make sure that companies come here, stay here by getting the technology talent that they need. Amazon was looking at opening HQ2 here.
Right.
And one of their biggest questions was access to technology talent, right? That was a huge factor for them.
Yeah.
And so we want to make this an attractive place for individuals and for companies. For us personally, we've placed hundreds and hundreds of junior developers. So when you come in the program, you're a junior developer. You're not mid or senior, although I know we all finish programs and we want to know all the things. But if anything, you actually learn how to learn, and then you also learn how much you have yet to learn by starting any of these programs.
Yeah, you have to start from the
You
base.
have to like that feeling, And so for us, we have placed a lot of juniors, and then the next question companies were always asking us is, hey, do you have any mid or senior people who you would personally vouch for and recommend? And so that led to us launching Wyn Talent, which is our consultancy. And it's the consulting arm of Wyncode, which essentially places vetted technology talent with partners as consultants or as direct hires. And so we really also want to help innovate the staffing realm and provide really great talent to companies and targeted talent. So one of the problems that a lot of recruiters face is some of the most in-demand jobs are technology jobs, but the people filling those roles are people who don't actually know the technology themselves. And it's not necessarily that you need to know it, but we have a team that goes to a client, they assess what's needed from a technology standpoint. They themselves are developers, so they are really good at pinpointing who on our consulting team is best fit for the job that we're placing with a client. So that's been really successful. We're not, we're doing it at a small scale, but we have some really great companies that we work with already on that level. And so we want to both educate and hire the technology talent and then connect it to all the companies that need the talent here. So that's what the future holds for us. But I think for Miami, there's a lot of really exciting things happening. And technology is one of the key things that's going to really change and innovate and drive this city forward. And I love that it still surprises people. One day it's not going to be our best kept secret. And so I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts, but also be working very hard to make it known to as many people as possible.
As the tech capital of the U.S.
I don't know if we need to be the tech capital of the U.S. I think, and we certainly don't want to be Silicon Valley. I don't think Miami is going to benefit from copying anything from anywhere else. I think Miami has a unique proposition.
Right.
It's a great standard of living. There are great people here. We're going to build a gender diverse tech ecosystem. People are accessible and collaborative. Those are really beautiful things that I hope we continue to nurture and enhance even further. And that alone is going to make this such a different type of tech hub from other tech hubs.
Well, I think that's a beautiful mission, and I think what you have built is amazing. I really like the space. I like Wynwood, and I think this is great, one of the nicest area in Miami. So congratulations on soon it's 5 years you've been building this company. So thank you very much, and thank you for your time, and it was great talking to you.
Great talking to you too. And if you ever want to, you can check out wyncode.co /events. So if you want to come and try some coding yourself, or anyone out there, or product design, we're big on trying to give access to the community for trying this stuff out as well.
So what's the best place that people can find you?
Wyncode.co, which is WYNCODE.co.
Okay.
And if you want to check events in particular, you would just do /events.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to share that on
Great.
the Miami Guides and on the podcast as well. So, all right.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast with Johanna as much as we enjoyed creating it. You can find more information about Wyncode in the show notes. And if you're passionate, driven and hungry, I'm confident that Wyncode and Miami can provide a platform for you. Well, if you haven't subscribed to our show yet, please take out your phone right now and subscribe to the Miami Guides podcast, so that you don't have to miss another show. All of our shows are also on our website, themiamiguide.com. I would love to hear your feedback about the episodes and appreciate if you would leave me a review on iTunes. We have more episodes coming up, and we are brewing with ideas, stories and content I can't wait to share with you. We continue to seek on what makes people tick and make the invisible visible in our magic city. Once again, my name is Mike, and I'm here to inspire you with amazing stories, capturing the vibes of Miami, and help you discover the magic of the city. You can follow us online everywhere as the Miami Guides on Instagram and all the other major platforms, and our website, themiamiguide.com. Thanks for listening. See you in the next episode.